at Nashville, no Fords in the top 10, and Brad, you had the highest finishing Mustang in 11th. Joey Logano was on Sirius XM this week, and he said he feels like most tracks, Ford is kind of down on horsepower and aero right now. And he wasn't like despondent because he was like, hey, I was in this position a year ago and I won a championship, but he's locked into the playoffs. So I'm wondering for you guys, what's that like where you don't really have the luxury as much to wait for Ford to kind of catch up with other manufacturers and be in the playoffs, knowing that you still got to get there, maximize, maybe even win to qualify. You know, what's the mood like, and I guess, you know, what's that outlook like, knowing that you're still kind of waiting for the cars to improve a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we had our quarterly luncheon this week, and the chance to address all the employees, and ultimately, there's multiple kind of moods and reflections I think that come up, and the first one is we've made a lot of progress from where we were as a company last year, and that hasn't come easily. There's been a lot of work and effort put into that, and we're certainly very proud of that. But we also know that we have 9 really challenging weeks in front of us. With the cars are, I think, 11th and 12th in the point standings. We have basically a 2-car cushion with the playoff. It's the way they work. And so, over the next 9 weeks, I would not be surprised to see 2 new winners. Hopefully we're one of them. If that's not the case, then, we have both of our cars on the bubble, which is not a good place to be. I think we look at these next 9 weeks, and yes, we'd like to win. That's every week. But in absence of that, we need to be, really perfect. And, we did capitalize on the opportunities that are in front of us and avoid any pitfalls or mistakes. So, looking at that, there's a lot of, it's a tense few weeks. And then, of course, if you make it through all that, which we fully plan to do, then you got to go execute in the playoffs as well, right? We know that that's not going to be easy. We know that's a big challenge, but we're still, like I said, this mixture of emotions where we're significantly proud of the progress we've made on most given weeks. We're in a spot to be one of the best Ford cars. We know that the Fords aren't where we want them to be, but we can't let that be our excuse. We need to control the things we can control. And I think as a company and as the respective teams have done a pretty good job of that. The upgrades that have been made to Chris's team and car over the last 2 or 3 months are really showing off with some investments we've made there in pit crew and other hard assets. So now we have 2 cars that are really in a good spot to contend. We just need a little more vehicle speed, and the vehicle speed is it can be frustrating. Some of it you control, some of it you don't, but. I'll be interested to see how the next few weeks play out. There's always opportunity to improve those things, and they show up in different moments. Sometimes they show up when you make your stuff better. Sometimes they show up when NASCAR enforces some things on everybody else, right? And so you can't give up hope on that being the case, and you need to continuously be positioned to take advantage of that. So. Outside of that, from the Ford perspective, Ford has a new car for next year that's, we think will address some of those concerns, at least the aerodynamic side of it. And, we have a lot of reason for optimism beyond this year, but we've got to make this moment we're in right now count. And weekends like this are kind of equalizer weekends. They're weekends that, I think those aren't good excuses for us. And so... we need to score a lot of points and if possible, get a win with one of our 2 cars. So, I think, framing like the conversation is really important to understand all the context. This weekend's a big opportunity for us. We know that when we go to the next Nashville-esque track that it's going to be very, very difficult for us to win. But we still need to do the best we can and get a lot of points so we can hold serve with our respective position.